You are now watching the Peach.
As I'm sure all of you are aware, Nintendo just hosted the September 2023 Nintendo Direct. This is the first time in a very long time where I wasn't craving a Nintendo Direct. The June 2023 Direct was unexpected, and it was the best Nintendo Direct since E3 2013, and the Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Direct was excellent as well. Needless to say, I was quite happy with Nintendo's offerings, so anything beyond that was really just a bonus. But the question is, was it a pleasant surprise, or one that just left me feeling bummed out? Because remember, September Nintendo Directs either have a history of being really bad, or really weird.
Farm.
So, starting off the Direct, we got some new information on the Splatoon 3 DLC. It was expected, it looks pretty cool, but the main reason why I watch a Nintendo Direct is for the new announcements, and shortly thereafter, we got the elephant out of the room. Or should I say, the Kong out of the room. Because Mario vs. Donkey Kong is indeed real. So, initially, there was a lot of concern that this could be another game like Mario vs. Donkey Kong Tipping Stars, an uninspired mini Mario Lemming style game. But no! The only mini capacity here is that they're collectibles and have their role in the original Mario vs. Donkey Kong, because this is a remake of that game, and let me tell you, it looks absolutely incredible. I absolutely love Donkey Kong 94 and Mario vs. Donkey Kong as well, but if there's one problem I had with the one on the Game Boy Advance, the graphics were not good. They weren't stylized, it just looked kinda ugly. But this game, oh, it is far from ugly, because this game looks absolutely stunning. A lot of people say the Switch is on its way out because the hardware is too weak, and while that is kinda true, games like this really showcase the full potential of the Switch, because it looks incredible, and there's even a new multiplayer mode, which looks really cool. I'm wondering if there will be some additional levels, kinda like the Super Mario Advance games had, but even so, this is a really excellent looking remake, and I can't wait to play it. And my fears of it being another Tipping Stars, pretty much gone. Yeah, only problem? I can't wait to play this game. Next up, we have more information on that previously untitled Princess Peach game. They could have called it Untitled Princess Peach game, but no, it's called Princess Peach Showtime. Now, the thing with the Princess Peach game is we haven't had one since the DS, and with Super Princess Peach, I love that game, but if you really think about it, it is very similar to a standard Mario game, in terms of the enemies being similar, the gameplay being that of a 2D platformer, but Princess Peach Showtime really takes Peach's personality and character and goes all out with it in a creative way. The thing that I really like about the game is it doesn't use that many elements from the Mario series, rather it builds a world and character for Peach. Everything about it looks great visually. I love the new mechanics of being able to change costumes and get different abilities. Pirate Peach at the beginning, my friend messaged me about that, and I said I was going to say the exact same thing. But everything about it is looking great. In terms of the gameplay, it seems to be sort of a 2D, 3D hybrid. It reminded me a bit of Wario World on the GameCube, a little bit of Kirby 64, but honestly, everything's looking great. This is exactly what I'd want from a Princess Peach game. It's great to see Nintendo bring back ideas they haven't experimented with for quite some time, and having a new Princess Peach game, I'm very excited. You know what I'm not excited for, though? Detective Pikachu Returns. I've gone on about how Nintendo's 2023 has been nearly perfect. I say nearly because this game, it does not look good. Here's the thing, I wasn't a fan of the original Detective Pikachu on the 3DS, I just couldn't get into the gameplay. But the thing with this game is that it visually looks quite appalling. This is one of the ugliest Switch games I've ever seen. Now I expect the mainline Pokemon games to look and play like trash. Also, the DLC for Scarlet and Violet just released, and wouldn't you know, it's another thing where if you ignore the game, then it's amazing. But this, it just looks like crap. I will say, visually, that's the main problem with it, but, you know, other than that, gameplay looks to be decent enough. I don't think it'll be as bad as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but I don't think it's gonna be good. But after that, this is an announcement that usually I wouldn't cover, but I was laughing during it, and I did not expect it. So there's a game called Trombone Champ, and I couldn't stop laughing because at first I thought this was a Wii Music remake, and we're all adults here, we gotta be mature, but oh my gosh, they announced it as a game where you toot, and the trombone sound effects sounded like toots. This game just looked hilarious, and it's available later today. And it gives that IR camera on the Joy-Con some good use, but what a funny announcement. I couldn't help but bring that up. Contra Remake is coming. It's a remake of the first one on NES, and I gotta say, it looks really cool. Now with Contra, my main experience with it is playing as Bill in Super Mario Bros. Crossover, but having a modern version of it, I'm very excited to check it out. But there's another remake that Nintendo showcased more of. We did expect this, but I wasn't sure exactly what to expect from it. So you know that Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon remake? As it turns out, even in North America, it's going to be called Luigi's Mansion 2. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD specifically. T&D and I always have this argument. Whenever he calls it Luigi's Mansion 2, I'm like, what are we, British? It's called Dark Moon. But now, I guess he can finally enjoy his crumpets and tea in some peace. But how does the game actually look? Well, if I'm being honest, it still looks a bit rough. It looks way better than it did when it was initially revealed, but considering that the wait for it is kind of surprising, being a summer 2024 release, it definitely has time to get polished up. I definitely think it'll look on par with Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm just wondering if there'll be any additional content. One thing I'd really like to see is the addition of Luigi's Mansion Arcade as a separate mode, because that ran on similar hardware to Dark Moon, and it plays completely different. It's like an on-rail shooting game, and it'd be really cool to have as a side mode. If Nintendo won't just put it on the Switch itself, having it here would be great. But overall, I will say things don't look perfect now, but I have good faith that Luigi's Mansion 2 HD will indeed be a great remake. Heck, I'm one of the few who actually prefers Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, or in this case 2, over the original. So I'm very excited for it either way. Now, Nintendo did announce something that had nothing to do with games. That had nothing to do with the game! It had to do with something that they're opening. The Nintendo Museum is opening and they're almost done with construction. Interesting announcement. The reason why I wanted to bring it up is because I'm wondering what's happening with that Gulf War Game Boy, the one they took from the Nintendo store. So it'll probably be there. Maybe it's Nintendo's equivalent to the Nickelodeon time capsule where it just moves from location to location. You wanna know what game had me feeling like that Gulf War Game Boy? Here we go. F-Zero 99. We expected it. It was one of the game's pure leaks, so the punch didn't hurt as much, but that doesn't mean it still didn't hurt. Nintendo has to know that many have wanted a new F-Zero game, specifically either a new one or a remake of GX. But this game, it's exactly what I expected. It's a sort of remake of the Super Nintendo game with 99 other players. I will admit it does look pretty fun, but Nintendo has got to know that this is not what fans wanted when they wanted a new F-Zero. The thing with the 99 games is, and I'll say it again, they never last. Here's my prediction for the next Nintendo Direct. They're going to announce that F-Zero 99 will be ending service, and that'll be the end of that game. And then they're going to announce another 99 game that will end service very soon. It happened with Super Mario Bros. 35. It happened with Pac-Man 99. What's going to make this game any different? So yeah, it was a disappointment. I don't think it would take any resources from an F-Zero GX remaster or a new game, but still, come on. You announce a new F-Zero thing and it's this? Oh well, no one's going to remember it anyway because it's probably going to be gone sooner than it's released. But this is something I'll definitely remember. We got some new information on WarioWare Move It. Now the thing I wanted to know about the most, since we already got an idea of what the game was going to be, what is Wario's new voice going to sound like? And I gotta say, it's not excellent! I will say Mario and Luigi's new voice actors sound really good. I can't say the same for Wario. Unless there's more to the game, it does appear that there's going to be some voice acting. And from what we've heard, I don't think Wario's voice is good. But that doesn't take much away from the overall game itself, which looks incredible. It appears to be a really nice successor to Smooth Moves, which is my second favorite WarioWare game, and everything about it looks great. There's even some great multiplayer added in, which was another highlight from Smooth Moves, We didn't really have that in WarioWare Get It Together. We got a little bit of it, but it was mostly the co-op you'd play with a friend for the micro games. But this seems to be a more traditional take on WarioWare, and I'm quite excited for it. And it has over 200 new micro games, so that is a pretty good amount. And it comes out shortly after Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So wow, this end of the year is pretty stacked for Nintendo. Finally wrapping things up, we finally got a look at the final wave of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC being Wave 6. You guys, Nintendo lied. There are not 2 more characters, there are 4 more. And the character choices couldn't be any better. We have Diddy Kong returning. We have Funky Kong. I had the same reaction I did with Kamek, albeit in a little bit of a different sense since Kamek was long overdue. But seeing Funky Kong return in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe just put a smile on my face. But I was even more hyped that Pauline is going to be in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I will admit I was a little bit concerned that Diddy Kong and Funky Kong would have been the last characters. I still would have been happy, but having the 1-Up Girl playable in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and for the first time in a game I actually want to play, now that is exciting. And Peachette is playable. I think it was funny that they announced Peachette as the final character since it was going for a Donkey Kong theme. I wish it was Dixie Kong, but considering the 3 other characters, I couldn't help but just laugh. And the track they showcased was Daisy Circuit from Mario Kart Wii, and everything looks great. I can say with confidence that the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC really stepped up its game. We've come a long way since Wave 1. And you know what? This is a pretty good ending for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I would say. Looking back at the Nintendo Direct, there was a lot of information about games that were priorly announced, and the thing is, since there were so many games announced, I was totally fine with that. But there have been some really nice surprises. Sure, Detective Pikachu Returns and F-Zero 99 do not look good, but those are just 2 games out of overall an excellent upcoming library. But what about that final reveal, you may ask? Well, Nintendo always has the one more thing at the end of the Direct, and considering the last one was Super Mario Bros. Wonder, I was pretty confident it would be either Tears of the Kingdom DLC, maybe something Zelda related, or just completely different. But nope, Mario was back to close yet another Nintendo Direct, and what is perhaps the most surprising and insane ending I've seen for any Nintendo Direct. So there have been talks about ideas of this game for many years, and I was thinking to myself, well, they're remaking Super Mario RPG, so I can't see it happening anytime soon. But nope, Nintendo finally did it, and to say I was shocked would be an understatement. I'm really glad Pyoro did not leak this game, because the amount of surprise and just the sheer excitement for this game was unbelievable. It was almost that of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is getting a full-on remake. I will admit, I did enjoy Paper Mario: The Origami King, but compared to Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, it is no contest. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is one of the greatest Mario games, and even one of the greatest video games ever made. And to see it remade in glorious HD, and just having it back, is absolutely mind-blowing. And the thing with this remake is they didn't go the route I was expecting. I expected them to use an engine similar to that of Color Splash and Origami King, but this game is capturing the original's art style and bringing everything into glorious HD. Whether or not the remake is going to have new content, Nintendo did not announce, but from the standpoint of it being a remake, you can tell that there is a lot of love and care put into it, and I couldn't be more hyped. It's coming out next year. They didn't specify when, but I'm hoping it's sometime towards the summer. I hope we don't have to wait too long for it, but everything about it just looks amazing. And I gotta say, this has the possibility to be the best remake Nintendo has ever put out. And that's saying a lot, considering the Direct pretty much opened with a remake of Mario vs. Donkey Kong that also looks phenomenal. Wow, when it comes to remakes and such, Nintendo has really been on their game. We got Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, Metroid Prime Remastered, Super Mario RPG getting remade, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and now Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. What a time to be a Nintendo fan. The thing with this game is I'm so excited to play it just because I love Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, but I'm also excited considering that many of you will get to play the game for the first time. because it was only on the GameCube and never been re-released since then. And even if you played the original on GameCube, I guarantee you're excited to play the remake because it is just such a night and day difference when it comes to the visuals, and it looks stunning. And the gameplay, of course, is going to be amazing because Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door is just an incredible game. I'd go as far to say it's one of the greatest video games ever made. But if there's another thing I'm hoping that Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door remake sells incredibly well, and fans get to experience just what made it so amazing. And from there, maybe Nintendo could make a true successor to that game with the next Paper Mario. My only concern with Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door being remade, I don't think Reese would be able to contain his excitement, and I really hope he didn't have a heart attack because I know he'd want to play this game. So there you have it. These are my thoughts on the September 2023 Nintendo Direct. It was a nice surprise, definitely a bonus, and honestly, I can say with confidence that this has been the best year for the Nintendo Switch, and probably the best year to be a Nintendo fan. And next year is also looking incredible. But what was your favorite announcement? Let me know in the comments, and as always, keep calm and dada on.